Welcome you back to another episode of Talking Blizz with Joey Bonadonna. And this week we welcome in running back number 22, EJ Burgess. EJ, welcome to the show.
So, man, appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Another win for you guys this past week, coming off of a win against the Iowa Barnstormers, getting the season series officially against them, moving to 4-1 for the first time since 2007. Obviously, a great start for you guys, but how is the mindset coming in to this week after the win last week?
The mindset we're feeling good. We gotta always work. We can always work on different things. We're working on one more, just trying to get one more rep, one more, just action that you could do throughout the week to get better at something. But we're definitely looking forward to this game. Looking forward to putting on a good show and just coming out with a W at the end of the day.
We'll talk a little bit more about the opponent this week. You see the Sioux Falls Storm for the second time in 3 weeks, and we'll talk about that later. But how much does that impact your preparation for this team? Obviously, knowing you got to face them on the road, but you just saw this team a few weeks ago.
It's a quick turnaround. We definitely played them, I think, like last week or 2 weeks ago. So quick turnaround. They're a good team. It was a good game. So I'm looking forward to playing them again. Seeing what changes they made in the 2 weeks since we played them, and just hopefully we come out with that W and go to 5-1. That's the goal for this week.
Awesome. Well, we'll take some time to dive in a little bit into your story, EJ. A native of Texas, and obviously growing up, or knowing the game of football, you know that football is big in Texas. How much did you grow in learning the game when you were younger?
I grew a lot. I want to say that I moved to Texas when I was like 12. So moving there was a big change because I lived in other places because my dad was in the military. So I had moved around a lot. I was in Virginia, Miami, New Jersey. I think I lived in Virginia and New Jersey both two times. So, but when I moved to Texas, it was definitely different. The game's a lot faster, bigger players, bigger kids, and you gotta get yours when you can make the most out of your opportunities in Texas because there's always another guy.
And going on to high school, how much did how was your recruiting process throughout your years playing and trying to move up to that next level at the college game?
Okay, so in high school, I was pretty decently recruited. I actually had a lot of schools looking at me, but my junior year I had broke my ankle, so that kind of got rid of those bigger schools. But I still had a couple smaller schools like FCS, and then I think I had one FBS offer. It was Army West Point. I ended up going to Central Arkansas, but then I left there and I went junior college route. I went to ASA Miami Junior College.
And I've noticed in prepping throughout these first few weeks, there have been a few guys that have come through the IFL from ASA in Florida. So how do you know any of those guys? Have you made connections with those guys throughout get going this route into the IFL? The JUCO route in general seems like there's a lot of connections within that realm of things.
Yeah, there's actually another guy that's on the Blizzard team, Nick Holmes. He played at ASA Miami when I was there, so that was pretty cool, like getting to reconnect with him. And I feel like every week, like there's somebody that I know either from like back in high school, junior college, or my college from Franklin Pierce. They were in the NE10 area. I feel like there's a lot of connections there. Every week, I'm seeing somebody that I know.
Yeah, speaking of Franklin Pierce getting to move up to out of junior college and going to Franklin Pierce, what was that transition like? Getting to play those last 2 years with Franklin Pierce.
Oh, going to Franklin Pierce, it was a blessing. I love that school. I love the opportunity they gave me. A lot of people did not like that I went to that school. I had a couple D1s early in the JUCO process, but when I was in JUCO, the craziest thing happened. They came up with the transfer portal, so then like a lot of my offers just went away, and so I had limited options, and I chose Franklin Pierce. It was a new program. They were coming off of a season they hadn't won a game, So a lot of people were like, you probably shouldn't go there, but I trusted in Coach Gas and the guys around me that I met up there, and we made the most out of it. You know, what I mean, I had a couple decent seasons. One of my junior year, I was All American, and I put up some good numbers. And I feel like our offense is pretty solid. And they're actually a growing program, so I feel like they're going to do great this next year coming up.
Now, the interesting part you mentioned, the growing changes in college football. In years past, talking to guys, you talk about how COVID impacted um, their ability to move up to the pros. But COVID had an impact right in the middle of your college career, and then the introduction of the transfer portal you mentioned, trying to move up to Division 1. That's where things start to change up with scholarships available and things like that. So, how did you navigate throughout all of those changes and still find a way to play the game?
It was tough, definitely. Like with the transfer portal and COVID, I feel like everything just, like happened around the same time. So I was leaving JUCO, transport just became a thing, and then it was 2019 December is when I was leaving JUCO. So a lot of schools are telling me to wait, and I was thinking about waiting. You know, like D1 schools, they're saying we're gonna have a scholarship open in the spring if you just wait it out. But something was telling me, man, commit right now. And I'm glad I did because COVID came around and a lot of people lost scholarships because of that. And I went to Franklin Pierce and I was able to keep my scholarship because I had already signed it before COVID. So it was definitely a blessing in disguise for sure. But I feel like everything happens for a reason, definitely.
You mentioned again the blessing to get to Franklin Pierce, and you put together some really good performances yourself over those years there. What did you most develop with your game over those last 2 years?
What I most developed, I would say probably being a leader. I came in as an older guy. That school had a lot of younger guys. I want to say like this team was primarily freshmen when I got there. So I had to be a leader and like show them like the college game's a little bit different. So and just like helping to guide them to becoming a winning program. It took some effort definitely, especially dealing with COVID and having limited like time in the weight room and stuff like that, and having to wear a mask and all that, being spread. Like we had to like have certain boxes we could work out in. It was different, but we ended up getting better as a unit, and I'm really proud of that, and I'm proud of the direction the program's heading in definitely.
And then finishing off there in 2022, you move on. Um, Now in 2024, starting in your rookie year here in the IFL with the Blizzard, what's gone through that process, and especially this year, what went into that decision of deciding to come to the IFL and play for Coach Roberson here in Green Bay?
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a long story. First I had declared for the NFL draft. I had got a lot of interest from Franklin Pierce when I was there. Schools came out, not schools. NFL teams came out and like watched me practice and stuff like that. Invited me to workouts. I went to pro day. When I was in contact with them, I was expecting to get a mini camp invite. Never got it. So that was eye opening for me. I was talking to a couple CFL teams in that summer, and that fell through too. And then XFL, you know what happened there? They dismantled. Then so then I was just teaching at home in Houston, basically just teaching, and I thought I was done playing. And Coach Roberson, they hit me up and they were talking about they had a spot for me if I was willing to come out and play. And I was thinking about it. I was like, but like I really wanted to play, so I was like, I might as well just go out there and like give it a shot. And that's why I'm out here because I just wanted to keep on playing. I didn't want to give it up so soon.
And that was another thing that changed just within the last year. Obviously, there were two spring leagues with the outdoor game, the XFL and the USFL, and then they merged together. And we talked about this last week with Lowell Patron and how much that impacted the IFL. There were a lot of guys that had moved up to the XFL or the USFL, and with those teams compressing, they fall back down to the IFL, which still ends up being great for this league and the opportunities that are here. But going into the indoor game for you, your first time playing on the smaller field, how much of that was an adjustment for you throughout camp and through these first few games?
For me, I feel like it wasn't that much of an adjustment because running back, we don't really it's just running the ball. But like I would say the smaller field definitely has an impact on our game because you don't have that much room to work with. So you gotta make your cut and go. There's no you can't bounce to the outside, none of that. You gotta get downhill. But I've always been a downhill type of runner, so I feel like it's not really been that much of a struggle for me. Just getting used to like reading holes a little bit quicker though. That has been a little bit of an issue, but I've been working on it and I feel like I've gotten better over the weeks, like from week one to now. So it's definitely a work in progress though. Always get better.
And this offense in general, how much have you seen this group progress over these first 5 games? Obviously, across the league, when you talk about the Green Bay Blizzard, a lot of people talk about the defense, but how have you seen this offense develop? A lot of moving pieces. There was that game where Max was out and Skylar had to come in at Quad City, but the team was still able to get the win. How much have you seen this group develop as an offense?
I feel like we've been doing good. We have like a lot of flashes, you know what I mean? Like we gotta put it all together. I feel like once we put it all together, we're gonna be a force to be reckoned with, most definitely. But those flashes are definitely encouraging, especially like when you see somebody go down and somebody can step up and like make the next play. Because that's important on a team, like to be able to be consistent and like have the next guy being ready to go. Um and yeah, we just gotta get more consistent. Once we get more consistent, we're gonna be a force to be reckoned with, I feel like.
And still coming out with a 4-1 record, a great spot in the Eastern Conference to start the season. But every game is going to matter now. You're going out because with no Western Conference teams and the first tiebreaker being conference record, um, every game is going to matter against an Eastern Conference opponent. And this is going to be another big one with the Sioux Falls Storm coming up this week. And this is going to be your second road game of the season, going out to Sioux Falls, an opportunity to take the season series, which is something that the Blizzard have not done in franchise history. 3 games against the Storm, an opportunity to take 2 out of 3 this week. You talked about the mindset and how the quick turnaround is with this Sioux Falls team, but they're still looking for their first win as well. What are you expecting out of them when you take the field on Saturday?
They're definitely gonna be hungry. They haven't won a game, so you know that's demoralizing. I've experienced stuff like that on different teams. The struggles, and so they're definitely gonna come out trying to hit the mouth. But we gotta be ready for that. We gotta be ready to get after it and attack, not retaliate. You know what I mean? So as long as we play our game of football, we should be good to go. I know they're a good team and everything. They don't have like it's the record doesn't you know display who they really are. But at the same time, we got to handle business one game at a time, and this is the team that's in front of us. So we just got to make sure we take care of that.
And last time out, obviously this is more on the defensive side, but I want to talk about them a little bit. Last time out, against Sioux Falls, the turnover battle was won 4-1 uh, by the Blizzard. What have you seen getting to watch this defense perform week in and week out, and the stuff that they've been able to put together all season?
Our defense is they're straight lockdown. There's not another word to describe them. They've been doing great, especially like in all facets of the game. They've been getting after it and just making sure we always have like opportunity in a good field position and just like handling business when it needs to be handled, especially down at the goal line, the red zone and everything. They make sure they handle that. And a lot of the guys, you know, they've been putting a lot of work in, a lot of extra work. So we put a lot of respect to that. And like offensively, we do the same thing. We just gotta make sure we're a little bit more consistent to like help them out a little bit more. But yeah, they got a good group of guys right over there.
Perfect. And then finally, to wrap things up, this is a question I've asked all the new guys this year is what's a fun fact about you that Blizzard Nation might not know about you, and something that you'd like to share just to get a little personality out there as we wrap up the episode.
Um, that's a good question, man. Something about me. Well, I can do a backflip. A lot of people don't really know that. They don't really expect that from me. But I think at one of the community appearances at one of the schools, I did a backflip, and that was pretty cool. Kids were excited about that.
Could we expect a backflip touchdown celebration at some point? We'll see.
I was thinking about it. Yeah, it depends how tired I am. But if I'm not tired, I got you for sure. That's gonna be pretty cool.
A few years ago, we had a running back, carry on more, and that was his signature celebration every single uh, time. He had a few that year, and every time he was in the end zone, he was doing some sort of flip. So it'd be interesting to see if we bring that one back here in 2024. But again, a big one this week against the Sioux Falls Storm on the road in Sioux Falls. Blizzard looking to move to 5-1, take the season series against the Storm as they press on through this season. Really want to thank EJ for your time this week, just to talk a little about your story and the week ahead.
Appreciate it, man.
Awesome. We thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode as well of Talking Blizz with Joey Bonadonna. Tune in next week and tune in this weekend again as the Blizzard take on the Sioux Falls Storm here in week 8. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, go Blizz.